Caring, committed, proud of East Texas. You're watching KLTV 7 News.
He searched the system to find his ex-girlfriend's car more than 10,000 times using his police credentials. Good evening and thank you for joining us. That's the latest from a Texas Rangers investigation involving a Lufkin police officer who is now sitting in the Angelina County Jail. 32-year-old Zachary Klein is booked on 3 felony charges with bonds totaling $700,000 for allegedly misusing the Lufkin Police Department's flock license plate readers to track nearly a dozen people. He's been in jail since last Friday. KLTV7's Trent Bennett joins us now. And Trent, we're getting a better idea tonight of why he was arrested.
That's right, Blake. We first told you on Monday that the officer on at least 100 occasions searched the cars of more than 11 people using the city's 7 flock cameras. This is what they look like. This report by Texas Rangers say he was following the movements of his ex-girlfriend and he was worried she was cheating on him even after their relationship had ended.
Over 10,000 searches to find his ex-girlfriend's car using the 7 flock cameras in the city limits of Lufkin. The reported misuse of 32-year-old Zachary Klein from July 2024 to December 2025 is now becoming more clear. According to this report from the Texas Ranger on the investigation, Klein marked on each of those 10,000 searches that he was conducting an investigation. The report went on to say the searches were done with company technology as well as his personal cell phone, even when he was not on duty. Rangers say the victim stated she and Klein had dated on 2 separate occasions and that, quote, Klein was obsessed with her cheating on him. She went on to tell investigators that Klein had also threatened another victim from the list of the 11 that he reportedly had also tracked at times. At least some of the victims stated they were either romantically involved with Klein at some point or knew a person who once was. Flock cameras have also recently helped solve East Texas crimes. Just 2 weeks ago, a child kidnapped from Sabine County was found safe hundreds of miles away near the Mississippi state line after the suspect's car was located using flock cameras.
Texas DPS has a formal policy when it comes to keeping law enforcement officials from abusing the flock camera system. I also have it here in my hand. There are a series of rules here, but I'm just going to read you rule number 1. The user agency may only access and use license plate readers' information for official criminal justice purposes. The information shall not be accessed or used for any other reason. According to Texas Rangers, they state the offense committed by Klein was against the peace and dignity of the state of Texas. All the while, Lufkin's Police Chief Travis Brazil has suspended the use of the flock cameras for the department, and another officer is also on leave tonight. Reporting in the studio, Trent Bennett, KLTV 7.